All right. Good night, everyone. How is everyone doing this evening? All right. So I'd like to welcome everyone to Answer to Cancer Basics Seminar that is being put on by the Ottawa Adventist East Church tonight. And we're basically going to look at the basics of cancer. We're not going into in-depth, but we're just going to look at what causes cancer. Now, I want to see by the show of hands, how many of you have known someone with cancer? Yep, everyone's raising their hand. I'm sure everyone has known someone or even themselves have gone through cancer or is going through cancer right now. So we're going to look at, how we can help ourselves to get rid of the cancer. And cancer is not a death sentence. I mean, every time you go to the doctor and the doctor tells you you have cancer, immediately fears comes upon us, right? And we think of the worst. But God has provided us with a solution, and we'll go through it tonight. So, just for a disclaimer, the information shared in this presentation is for general educational purposes and is not intended to replace medical advice or treatment. Please consult your physician before making any lifestyle changes. So this is found from the Canadian Cancer Statistics publication. And just a few statistics about cancer in Canada. So it says cancer is the #1 leading cause of death in Canada. Can you guys believe that? It says 86,700 Canadians will die from cancer in 2003. So this was a publication that was done last year. It says 2 in 5 Canadians will develop cancer in their lifetime. Can you imagine, guys? 2 in 5. 1 in 4 Canadians will die from cancer. 5-year cancer survival is about 64%. And over 1.3 million potential years of life lost to cancer. That's a lot. And 239,100 Canadians will be diagnosed or was diagnosed with cancer in 2023. Those stats are a little bit scary, but we have the solution. So some of the topics that we'll be covering is what is disease, the nature of a cell, what is cancer, causes, the types of cancer and the symptoms, the stages of cancer, and our immune system and how it can help us to overcome cancer, and some natural remedies. So what is exactly disease? Disease is an effort of nature to free the system from the conditions that result from the violation of the laws of health. In case of sickness, the cause should be ascertained. Unhealthful conditions should be changed, wrong habits corrected, then nature is to be assisted in her efforts to expel impurities and to re-establish right conditions in the system. And this is taken from Ministry of Healing, page 127. It sounds like a whole mouthful, but let's dissect it. So anytime disease comes upon us, it is basically telling our body that, hey, there's something wrong and it needs to be fixed. So disease is not a foe, it's actually our friend. So anytime our body signals and tells us if we have a headache or if we have some form of sweating, it's our body saying to us, hey, fix me, right? And then it is because we're violating the laws of health. And we'll go into more details what those laws are. In case of sickness, the cause should be ascertained. So we want to find out what the cause is, right? Sometimes we find out, hey, we have diabetes. And we're like, oh, okay, we go to the doctor, and the first thing the doctor do is put us on medication. But what is actually the cause of us having diabetes, right? Unhealthful conditions should be changed. So whatever we're doing to cause the diabetes or whatever illness is upon us, we need to fix it, right? And then wrong habits corrected. So whatever we're doing that's wrong, we're going to now change our lifestyle for the better. Then nature, when we say nature, it's like natural remedies, is to be assisted in her effort to expel impurities and reestablish right conditions in her system. So most times people hear, okay, I have diabetes. What herb can I take? What natural remedy can I do? No, we want to get to the root cause. we want to find out what the problem is, and then from there, we fix what needs to be fixed, and then we use the natural remedies as extra. Does that make sense? All right. So Ministry of Healing says disease never comes without a cause. So any form of sickness, whether it be headache, straight to cancer, there is a cause. So the cure is in the cause. Where's the cure? All right. So just remember, once we find out what is causing the problem, we will be cured. So the laws of health, as I had mentioned before, it's pure air. So just to let you know, the Lord gave us natural remedies, and it's in the simplest form. There's no medication. But sometimes we just run to the doctor and we think medication is the way to go, and it's a quick fix, right? But all the medication is doing is masking your symptoms. The Lord has given us natural remedies. It will take a little time, but the Lord is a great physician. He's our healer, so we have to trust and believe He's going to heal us. So if we use pure air, sunlight, abstemiousness, which is another word for temperance, rest, exercise, proper diet, water, and trust in divine power, these are the true remedies. Every person, not one, but every single person should have knowledge of nature's remedial agencies and how to apply them. This is taken from Ministry of Healing, page 127 and point 2, right? And just to make it easier for you to remember what the laws of health are, just remember new start. So N for nutrition, E for exercise, W for water, S for sunlight, T for temperance, A for air, R for rest, and T, trust in God. And this is something that we should be applying to our lives every single day. So we're going to go back to what our body is made from. So we're going to start from the cellular level, and you're going to see how it is important for us to take care of our cells in order to heal ourselves. So as you know, we are the human body, and we're a living organism, and we are formed by a large number of cells, and that has different functions, are interrelated. Isn't God amazing? Using cells to make us run on a daily basis. We don't even think of it like that, right? We just go ahead and we just go through life, and we're not thinking that there's something happening internally that is going. It's like a machine that's going, constantly working, right? So cells, they bind together, they form tissues. Then the tissues are grouped together to form organs, and then the organs together form systems. So here's just a little diagram. So we have the cell, then you see it making the tissues, and then you see in the organ here, and then it makes up the system, and it makes us up as an organism. So just think cellular level. It says in Psalms 139, verse 14, I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. Like, we are fearfully and wonderfully made, guys. We take our body for granted on a daily basis. We abuse it, and that's so unfair to God. So, let's look at a normal cell life. Cells are the basic building blocks of all living things. So the cells form, they grow, they reach maturity, they perform their functions, so they take in the nutrients, they expel the impurities, they provide energy for the body, they reproduce, and they eventually die. Now, the cell does this on its own. Like the Lord has worked the instructions in our DNA to have this cell just doing its thing, right? It doesn't need any extra help. But guess what? When the cell is ready to die, it goes through a stage called apoptosis, right? And that's when it knows that it has reached its age of maturity, or the cell is altered. So it's known that it's not functioning properly. It commits cellular suicide, as you would say, right? So it dies off, and then when it dies off in the tissue, it actually just gets eliminated. It doesn't cause any swelling to the tissue or the organ, right? So it's just a natural process. But we're going to see how cancer is now the opposite of a normal cell. So normal human cells grow, they multiply, which is called cell division. They form new cells as the body needs them. And every cell, so the cells in your liver is different from the cells in your kidney, from your skin, like it's amazing. Every cell has its function to the different organs, and it does its thing and move on. When the cells grow old or become damaged, they die and new cells take its place. So when cells multiply, they split in two, and it's like, it just keeps going. It knows when to split, and it split into two normal cells. So inside the nucleus of each cell is where our DNA is found. So if you see the purple ball-looking thing, that is where our DNA is stored. And our DNA is the genetic information inside the cells that helps to say who we are. It is our makeup, right? It determines our sex, our height, our skin color, the texture, how we move, everything, right? The Lord said in Jeremiah 31:33, I have put my law in their inwards parts. So the law is in the DNA, right? It determines the rate at which each cell is to divide. So we're thinking cellular level again. So it is important to remember that we need to take care of our cells, right? And it needs 5 things it needs in order to function at its 100% capacity. It needs oxygen. It needs water. It needs proper nutrients. It needs proper waste elimination, and the poisons have to be kept out. So without oxygen, a cell would die in 3 minutes. Without water, the cells would die in a few days. If we don't give it the proper nutrients, it would die in a couple of weeks. And then the waste elimination, if it is not adequately getting rid of the toxics, it would die in hours. And if poisons aren't kept out, it will just die prematurely. So we can see it is important to take care of our body because we are made up of cells. So when we're not giving the body proper oxygen, we're not giving it the water that it needs, if we're not feeding it the right amount of food, if we're not getting rid of the toxins, and if we're not keeping the poisons out, the cell is going to become abnormal. So when the 5 needs are met, the alteration of the DNA will be at its minimum. So when the cells are the 5 needs are met, the DNA is working 100%, right? There's no alteration. But when the needs are not met, your DNA now becomes altered, and then it will cause cancer to develop eventually. So what exactly is cancer? Cancer is a condition in which abnormal or mutated cells divide and grow uncontrollably and spread to the other parts of our body. Cancer is simply the condition in which the cells of the body disobey the laws which regulate how fast they divide. So remember, a normal cell, it knows when to divide, and it divides into 2. With the cancer cell or an abnormal cell, it is just multiplying very rapidly, and it is not, so the DNA is no longer correct, put it that way. Like, it is altered, so it is just replicating bad stuff, bad stuff, bad stuff. So these cells are just all abnormal cells. Cancer develops when the body's normal control mechanism stops working. So the old cells don't die anymore. Instead, they just grow out of control, forming new abnormal cells. So these extra cells may form a mass of tissue, and this is what we call a tumor. We have abnormal cells every day, but if our immune system is working, and if it's up to par, we don't have to worry about it. The white blood cells will go in, look for these cells, eat them up, and we're good to go. But if your immune system is compromised, the abnormal cells now will start to just multiply and start to take over the tissues, and then it will spread into your organs, right? So cancer cells do not mature before they divide, and so lack differentiation. Therefore, they are not capable of performing normal functions. So abnormal cells, cancer cells, they're not doing anything for the body. They're just replicating and causing problems. The cell divides too frequently and they grow out of control. Cancer cells have the ability to squeeze into any space. It's called invasiveness. And this permits cancer cells to leave their place of origin and travel elsewhere. So within a normal cell, they stay within their region. With the cancer cell, they become invasive and then they start to spread to different areas of the body. And when they start to spread, then it becomes a very, very serious problem. So, cancer cells produce chemicals that cause the local blood vessels formation. This process is called angiogenesis. It results in increased blood vessels in a developed tumor. So if you look at picture A, that is how it starts, a small little tumor. Then in B, it starts to sprout capillaries, so it's starting to now stretch towards the blood area. And then it latches on to the capillary area, and then it becomes, so it's making its own path of blood supply. So now it starts to feed the tumor, and then it starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's what we don't want, right? We don't want it to form its own blood supply because it's feeding itself, and then it will grow faster and, cause more problems inside the body. So what exactly causes cancer? So remember, if the 5 needs aren't met for the 5 needs of the cell aren't met, it is going to cause your immune system to be compromised. And cancer, again, is caused by the mutations to the DNA within the cells. And what can impair the DNA? For external environment, chemicals that we breathe in, radiation, the germs, and the foods that we're eating. And for internal, it's the hormonal imbalances, immune impairment, that means our immune system is not working properly, it's not doing its job as it should, and inherited mutations. As toxins build up in the system, many foreign substances are introduced into the body. These polluting substances cause the DNA to be altered. So remember, if your cell is not getting rid of the waste as it should, the toxins will start up to build up in our bloodstreams, and then our system becomes polluted, and then it affects the cells, it goes into the DNA, causes some alteration, and then abnormal cells are being formed. So errors in the instructions can cause the cell to stop its normal function and may allow a cell to become cancerous. So we know smoking and tobacco causes cancer, alcohol, the food that we're eating, if we're not having enough exercise, toxic overload, the things that we're putting on our skin and into our bodies, and trauma, stress, negative thoughts, feeling of grief, depression, anxiety. These things can cause cancer to come upon us. Viruses and other infections, and carcinogens. And carcinogens are red and processed meats, crispy fried food, the glyphosates, the formaldehyde, engine exhaust. We inhale that every day we're driving. The pollution in the air, the radiation, arsenic. And there are 2 types of carcinogens. So we have something called the initiator, which starts the damage that can cause cancer. So diet, smoking, taking too many x-rays, excessive sun exposure. So people who like to sunbathe or suntan, eventually will end up with skin cancer. Workplace environment, you're breathing in toxic air. The circulation in the office is not 100%. Air and water pollution, and the chemicals that we're using in the house or even at work. Then we have something called the promoters. They do not cause cancer themselves. They actually work with the initiators to change the cells from normal to cancer. So example, alcohol, which works with tobacco to promote cancer of the mouth and possible the liver. Then we have reproductive tissues are particularly cancer prone, especially as we know in women. They divide rapidly, triggered by your body's own sex hormone, estrogen. It promotes the fast growth of breast cells in women. When our hormone is imbalanced, especially as I said in women, we go through a lot of changes and it can cause us to have reproductive cancer. So some of the type of cancers, just to run through a few, we have breast, prostate, colon, lung, bladder, pancreatic, kidney, mouth, throat, skin, the liver, the thyroid, uterine and cervical cancer, stomach cancer, brain, ovarian, testicular, and blood. So we can see that cancer affects majority or every part of our body. So some of the symptoms to look for. So I kind of highlighted breast and prostate because those are more, that's affecting us. So I'll go a little bit in detail, and then the rest I'll just go through the symptoms. So breast cancer is a disease in which abnormal breast cell grows out of control and they form tumors. Cancer cells can spread into nearby breast tissue, which is invasion, and this creates tumors that cause lumps or thickening. Invasive cancers can spread to nearby lymph nodes or other organs, and that's called metastasize. So in the beginning, breast cancer doesn't have any symptom per se, but as we go along, we are told as women we have to do our checks on a regular basis because one day you might feel nothing, and the next day you feel something. So you have to make sure that you check yourself on a regular basis. And what you're looking for is lumps or uneven thickening in your area. So some of the symptoms, a breast lump or thickening, and often it doesn't cause any pain. The change in the size or the shape or appearance of your breast, dimpling, redness, and pitting or other changes in the skin, and the change in nipple appearance or the skin surrounding the areola, right? So you have to make sure that you're checking that nothing looks abnormal, and if it does, seek medical attention. So for prostate cancer now, prostate cancer is the uncontrolled growth of cells in the prostate, and that is a gland in the male reproductive system below the bladder. So again, in the early stages for men, there's really no symptoms, but as it progresses, there will be. So they'll find that they have difficulty going to the bathroom, urinating. They have weak or interrupted urine flow. They go to the bathroom quite often, especially in the nights. They have difficulty emptying the bladder completely. They have pain or burning sensation when urinating. They have blood in the urine or semen, and they have persistent pain in the back, hips, or pelvis. So these are some of the symptoms that you need to look out for men if you have any of these. I know sometimes, men don't like to get themselves checked, but it's better to get yourself checked to know what's going on so you can deal with the problem and not wait for it to be too late. So symptoms of a colon cancer. You have diarrhea or constipation. You have a loss of appetite. You're weak, weight loss, and sense of indigestion. So every time you eat, you feel like, it's not settling, it's not digesting. For lung cancer, you have a persistent cough that doesn't go away. You have chest pain. You're forever tired. You're losing weight, loss of appetite, and you have bronchopulmonary infections that do not heal despite therapies. And just to let you know, a lot of the cancer, when you have cancer, you lose weight, your body is eating itself, right? Remember that the cancer cells are leaching onto your blood supply, and it's literally sucking the life out of you. So that is why you're actually losing weight. So for bladder cancer, you have blood in the urine, burning sensation when you're urinating, pain or difficulty in urinating, and you have a lot of UTI, urinary tract infections. For pancreatic cancer, this now is I notice a lot of people are passing away from it, and they don't know they have it until it reaches stage 4. You have loss of appetite and weight loss, nausea and vomiting. You have overall weakness and a sensation of discomfort, abdominal pain, jaundice in some cases, and diarrhea. For kidney, you have blood in the urine, lumbar pain. You have a palpable mass at the abdominal level, so you feel a thickness in the kidney areas, weight loss, extreme fatigue, and you have fever. For mouth cancer now, you have sores that are not healing. Like all of a sudden you feel like, there are little small things in your mouth and they're getting uncomfortable. You have white or red patches on the mouth or even your lips. Persistent throat pain when you swallow. Persistent pain in the tongue. You have the stiffness in your jaw area. And then sudden problem with bites, like you're chewing and it's like hurting. You have loose teeth or dentures that do not fit anymore. You have skin cancer. This is a one that is very prevalent also. So anytime you notice any change in size, shape, or color of an existing spot, you have to be careful. A spot that is itchy or painful, a non-healing sore that bleeds or develops a crust, a red or skin-colored shiny bump on the top of the skin, a red, rough, or scaly spot that you feel, a growth with raised border and a central crust or bleeding, and a wart-like growth. So you have to make sure that you're looking at your skin. If anything looks out of the ordinary, again, get yourself checked out. Liver cancer, you have weight loss. Then you have pain in the right side of the upper abdomen or around the right shoulder blade. You lose your appetite, you don't feel like eating. There's swelling or bloating in the abdomen. Feeling of fullness after a small meal. A hard lump below the ribs on the right side. Again, tiredness, weakness, nausea, and vomiting. Stomach cancer, weight loss, vomiting blood, loss of appetite, dark colored stool. That means that there's internal bleeding happening. Intense or constant pain in that area. You're feeling bloated after you're eating. You have difficulty swallowing. So see, your body is signaling, telling you that there's something wrong. For brain cancer, we have the headaches, we have seizures, we have convulsions, difficulty thinking, you have brain fog, personality or behavior change all of a sudden, you're weak, you're numb, loss of balance, dizziness, unsteadiness, losing your hearing, vision changes, confusion and disorientation, and memory loss. And then ovarian cancer for women, abdominal bloating, increased urination, back pain, weight loss, discomfort in the pelvic area, nauseous, loss of appetite, and constipation. Just to let you know, if your body is constipated, let's go back. You're supposed to go to the bathroom. If you have 3 meals a day, you're supposed to go to the bathroom 3 times a day. If you're not going, you're constipated, right? Going once a day, your body is constipated. And just think of it. When your body is constipated, it's backed up stool in your colon, and it gets redirected throughout your body. So that your body becomes toxic. We have to make sure that our bowels are working and that we're going to get out the toxins out of our body. So some of the stages of cancer, like you go to the doctor and they will say, oh, you have stage 2, stage 3. This is what it means. Stage 0 means that you have no cancer, only abnormal cells with the potential to become cancer. So women, sometimes we go and we do pap smear and you get back your results and it say abnormal cells. That's just letting you know that there's abnormal. It's not cancerous, but you have to watch it. Then stage 1, the cancer is small and it's localized. So it's in just one little area, right? And that's early stages of cancer. Stage 2, the cancer is getting larger and it's now beginning to spread in the localized area. Stage 3, the cancer has grown. Now it's going into the nearby tissues or your lymph nodes. And stage 4, the cancer now is spreading towards the rest of your body. And this is what we call metastatic cancer. So here's a diagram that is showing the different stages. So we have A is the abnormal cells, and that's stage 1. B, stage 2. C, stage 3. And D, stage 4. So you can see now it is starting to go into your blood vessels and it's starting to be spread to the rest of your body. And this is what we don't want. We want to stop it before it gets there. So here's another one. This is a picture of skin cancer. We can see stage 0 is just a flat little knob on top of the skin. Then in stage 1, it is starting to slowly seep down and spread. And then stage 2, it's getting deeper. Stage 3, going, and then stage 4, it's gone into your bloodstream, and it's going to get spread all over the body. So when you go to the doctor, and the doctor tells you, hey, you have cancer, and they tell you what stage it is, this is what the doctor is going to say. You have 3 choices. You have surgery, you have chemotherapy, and you have radiation. Surgery, when you cut anything in your body, it will cause the cancer to spread. Chemotherapy and radiation is killing the cells. It's targeting, they're saying that it's targeting your bad cells. It is also targeting your good cells. Once your good cells get targeted, your immune system is going to get compromised, and you cannot heal. It is harder. I shouldn't say you cannot. It is harder for your body to fight for its dear life to heal, right? Because if your immune system is compromised, and that is a fighting force of our body, when these cells die off, and it kills off your white blood cells, your body is now struggling to take the poison of chemotherapy and radiation out of the body, and also to build back itself up, to 100%. So again, as we said before, there's always a cause for every disease. No matter what disease is upon us, there's always a cause. Job says, the cause which I knew not, I searched out. So if a disease is upon you, you find out what the cause is, you find out what the cure is. The curse causeless shall not come. Proverbs 26, verse 2. So the cure is in the... All right. So again, it might sound simple, guys. It is very simple, right? When we get diagnosed with whatever sickness it is, you have to run to the doctor for the doctor to give you a pill. When the doctor is giving you medication, it is not healing. Healing only comes from God. The medication is just masking the symptoms and moving it somewhere else, right? In its simplest form. When you take medication, there's a time and place for it. I'm not saying no, but when we take medication, it is just moving the problem to another area of your body. And you can't live on medication for the rest of your life. It's just putting more toxins in your body. So what you want to do, you want to take charge of your health, and you want to look after your body to find out, why am I sick? Get to the root of the problem, and let's work on it and get better. So, what is our immune system? The immune system is the body's defense system, which is able to search out and identify foreign substances, destroy them, and remove them from the system. So when anything foreign comes into the body, the cells become alert and say, hey, stranger danger, let's get it and get it out. So what it goes, if it's the white blood cells, it goes, it eats it up. And the white blood cells, whenever it eats up any free radicals that is around the body, it dies off. So it doesn't stay alive. It literally kills itself to make us survive. The immune system attacks organisms such as bacteria, virus, fungi, and parasites. So anytime any one of these come in the body, our immune system is on high alert. It goes in and it starts attacking it because it has to get it out of the body. The immune system composed of T cells, which protect the body from infection. B cells, they produce the antibodies. Macrophage is defense against the pathogens, and antibodies neutralizes the foreign substances. So isn't God amazing, guys? Look at all these cells and look what all they are doing for us. They're fighting to keep us alive. But what we do, we go and we compromise our immune system. When your immune system is functioning properly, it will immediately activate the white blood cells, and destroy the pathogens, thus keeping us healthy. So if we are run down, meaning, our constitution is not good, we're deficient in nutrients, we eat in the foods that we're sensitive to. So people who eat dairy and they're lactose intolerant and they're like, oh, it's okay, I'll just go to the bathroom. You're actually hurting your immune system. Or you're chronically stressed. You're actually going through working nonstop, or you have family issues that you're not dealing with. All of these things break down your immune system. When your immune system is compromised, it cannot go in and fight these pathogens that are coming in. And again, guys, when the cells become abnormal, cancer appears. So for cancer to thrive and overtake the body, the immune system must first be weakened. And we don't want that to happen. We want to fight. So how do we build up our immune system? We're going to look back at the laws of health as we had mentioned at the beginning. The Lord gave us the 8 laws of health, the 8 doctors, in order for us to heal. So we need to practice the 8 laws of health every single day in our lifestyle, right? Whatever we're doing wrong, moving forward, we're going to ask the Lord to help us to overcome, and we're going to practice these things, and you'll see a difference. So, fresh air. We need to get fresh air in our bodies. Cancer does not like oxygen. So the more oxygen you give it, the more you're killing it, the more you're starving it. So if you go outside and you do some deep breathing, fresh air, you're killing the cancer cells, right? But if you stay inside the house and you're breathing stagnant air, or you're in the office building 8 hours, 9 hours a day, and you're inhaling circulated air, that's not fresh air. We need fresh air. And what that do, it goes into the body, it causes the blood to circulate, it causes the impurities to get expelled, right? So pure air increases oxygen in our cells, and that makes a healthy cell. The air also helps to eliminate the carcinogens. It purifies the blood, and it eliminates the carcinogens. So what we want to do is practice deep breathing exercises first thing in the morning and in the evening. Just go outside, stand up by your front door, and just breathe in and breathe out 3-4 times, right? And you want to, well, don't reach exercise yet, but while you're exercising, breathe in and expel. And just to let you know what we do shallow breathing, which is not proper breathing. We want to do correct breathing. So what you want to do is put your hand on your tummy right now, and I want you to inhale. Is your hand going in or out? Okay, that's proper breathing. Yes, your hand is to go out. If your hand is going in when you're breathing in, it's called shallow breathing, right? So when we breathe in, your diaphragm is pushed out. When you exhale, it goes in, and that's the correct way to breathe. Then we go on to sunlight. Sunlight increases circulation and also the volume of oxygen. Again, the cell needs oxygen. Sunlight increases the number of white blood cells in the body, and these cells, is our fighters, right? So they build up the immune system. Sunlight stimulates the liver, which detoxifies harmful substances. Sunlight changes the cholesterol. So we have cholesterol in our body, right? And the sunlight changes that cholesterol to vitamin D, which is essential for absorption of calcium in the body. And vitamin D builds up our immune system also. Calcium is necessary for proper cell division. So we want to get sunlight, especially here in North America, between 10 and 2. And if you're of the darker complexion, you want to probably get an hour to hour and a half outside. And all you have to do is go for your walks. When you go for your walk, you're getting the sunlight, right? If it's lighter skin complexion, we do 30 to 45 minutes. Rest. A lot of people are having trouble sleeping or having trouble going to bed on time, right? We need to go to bed no later than 9:30. For every hour before midnight, that is 2 hours of sleep. We take it for granted that if we don't rest or we need to catch up on stuff and we need to do stuff, our body is lacking sleep, right? We need to sleep in order to heal. If we're not sleeping, we are not healing. So if you're constantly going to bed 10, 11, 12 o'clock, your body cannot heal, guys. We'll constantly wonder, why am I not getting any better? Proper rest increases your body's ability to kill harmful bacteria, assist natural killer cell formation, and build up your immune system. Proper rest provides the energy. Energy will be used up by the immune system faster than it is restored. Tissue will be broken down faster than it is rebuilt, and poison will be formed faster than it can be eliminated. So this is when we don't get proper rest. We need rest. Exercise. What is the best exercise to have? To do? Walking. That is correct. Walking is the best exercise, and it doesn't cost you anything. You go out, you get your sunlight in, you get your fresh air in, and you get your exercise in. And exercise increasing, again, the oxygen level, the circulation. When you exercise, it pushes the toxins out to the elimination organs so the toxins can get expelled. So what we want to do, allow the waste from the cells to be transported. Exercise allows the waste from the cells to be transported quickly to the organs of eliminations via the bloodstream. So if we're not exercising, your blood becomes stagnant and the toxins just sit there and just build up over a period of time, right? We want to just keep walking, keep circulating, have our blood flowing smoothly. Exercise increases your white blood cells and flushes bacteria out from the lungs, thus decreasing the chance of your colds, flus, and airborne illness. And exercise reduces stress. So if you're stressed for whatever reason, exercise is a good way to de-stress. Morning exercise, walking in the free, invigorating air of heaven, or cultivating flowers, small fruits and vegetables is necessary to a healthful circulation of the blood. It is the surest safeguard against colds, coughs, congestion of the brain, inflammation of the liver, the kidneys, and the lungs, and 100 other diseases. And this is taken from Health Food Living, page 176. Water. Water is life. Water is what we need to use internally and externally. Water increases circulation by thinning the blood and also increases the oxygen level. So you see how many laws of health so far is increasing our oxygen level, right? The kidneys, the skin, and the lungs use water to eliminate waste from the body. Water is essential for us to go to the bathroom. It prevents constipation. And external use of water, such as hydrotherapy, builds up the immune system by increasing our white blood cells. So what we do, we need to drink water upon waking. We need to drink about 2 cups of water first thing in the morning, warm water. We don't drink anything hot and anything too cold, because when it reaches into your stomach area, it's going to sit there and the body has to warm it up in order for it to get sent to the rest of the body. So it has to be at room temperature. We want to add some lemon to that and drink warm lemon water in the mornings. And when we drink water, we don't gulp it down. And if you are to the point where you feel thirsty, you're dehydrated. So you want to constantly be drinking water. You want to take sips, 2 mouthfuls, probably every half an hour or so, right? But you want to get your water in. How you know you're drinking enough water? Your pee is see-through to clear. If your pee is yellow, that's toxins. Your body's full of toxins. Apart from when you're taking your medications, it's going to be extra yellow, but after that, it has to reach to that color, right? So you want to aim to drink enough water to have the color of the pee that color, and then you know that your body is getting enough. Temperance. True temperance teaches us to dispense entirely with everything hurtful and to use judiciously that which is healthful. This is from Child Guidance. In order to preserve health, temperance in all things is necessary. Temperance in labor, temperance in eating, and in drinking. So basically, temperance is getting rid of anything that is bad, and anything that is good, we do it in moderation. Exercise is good, but we don't want to overdo it, right? That is how we are in being temperate. Working is good. Overworking is not good. So now we're going to look at nutrition. Nutrition is what we are putting into our bodies. The most successful cancer treatment is based on flooding the body with the nutrients, the proper nutrients that it needs, which promotes the oxygenation of the cell. It nourishes the immune system, which at the same time starving cancerous cell. Cancer love unhealthy food. So when we eat unhealthy, we are actually feeding it. So what you want to do, you want to consume food in its natural state. You want to have whole foods. You want to have fresh fruits. You want to have your fresh vegetables and consume it in its raw form as possible, right? Some things you have to lightly steam but not overcook it. That's true. But what you can eat in its raw form, natural state, eat as much as you can. Vitamin A deficiency is associated with impaired immunity and increased risk of infectious disease. So we want to make sure we're getting our vitamin A. And the foods that consist of vitamin A, butternut squashed, carrots, sweet potatoes, your dark leafy greens, such as your dandelion, your kale, your spinach, your collard greens, lettuce, sweet red peppers, and melon, all rich in vitamin A. Right? When we talk about flooding our body with the proper nutrients, we're talking food, not supplements also. You know, sometimes we go on supplements. We should for a little bit to build up back our vitamins and minerals, but do not use that as an everyday thing. You get your nutrients from your food. Cruciferous vegetables is very good for cancer, such as your kale, your broccoli, your cauliflower, your cabbage, and they support your liver to flush out toxins and build up your immune system. These you might have to lightly steam, to break down the cellulose level so you can digest it much easier. Some people can manage it by eating it raw. If you can't, lightly steam it. Consume organic foods. If you have cancer, your food has to be organic. You cannot eat conventional food because the pesticide on it is going to feed your cancer. So organic foods as much as possible. Stay away from the pesticides, the waxes on the apples and stuff like that. Go organic. If you cannot avoid sprayed or wax food produced, make sure you peel it before consuming it. So for the apples, peel the apple skin off. Ensure that you're consuming at least 50 grams of fiber daily. Fiber is essential to help to eliminate the waste out of our bodies. The more fiber we eat, the more we frequently will be going to the bathroom, right? So we want to add flax seeds to our diet. And it's ground flax seeds, not in the seed form. And do not buy ground flax seed. Make sure you buy the seeds and actually grind it yourself. Because once you grind it, it starts to oxidize, so it starts to lose the nutritional value. So you want to buy it in a seed form, get a little coffee grinder from Walmart or whatever, grind it, and you want to just use it every day, right? 2 tablespoons a day, sprinkle over your salad, your smoothies, whatever it is, add that into your diet. Organic wheat bran and psyllium to your diet. Eat plenty of whole grains, including oats and brown rice. Eat the wheat germ, the nuts, the seeds for your vitamin E. It's a powerful antioxidant. You want to have your garlic, your onion, your legumes daily. As I said before, it keeps the liver functioning. And you want good fats, omega-3 fats. So it helps to lower the inflammation in your body. So the good sources of omega-3 is your flax seeds, your walnuts. Coconut oil is also good. So some things to incorporate when you're cooking or eating on a daily basis. You want to incorporate ginger. It's an antiviral and antiparasitic. Turmeric is good to take down inflammation. So use turmeric. Lemon, your vitamin C, it will help to fight the bacteria and your virus. Your onion and your garlic is a powerful antiseptic, antiparasitic, antibacterial, and antiviral. It's a powerhouse, guy. Then you have honey, antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, and it's an antioxidant. Cayenne pepper is very good for circulation. We don't want to use it like for everyday use, but we're using it for medicinal purposes. Then we want to use zinc, selenium, magnesium, the vitamin C. Copper and other trace elements are essential to activate the enzymes that create antibodies. And to get that, sources is your molasses, sesame seed, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, nuts, and legumes. And again, for the prostate, pumpkin seed is very good for men. Grains that you can incorporate is your brown rice, your millet, your oats, rye, teff, sorghum, emmer, spelt, quinoa, buckwheat, and amaranth. Some vegetables again, lettuce, cabbage, cauliflower, kale, radish, turnip, watercress, the onions, your garlics, leeks, spinach, beets, potatoes, artichokes, carrots, and seaweed. Seaweed is Irish moss. Then the fruits, tomato, cucumbers. So anything that has a seed is a fruit. So we normally say tomato and cucumbers are vegetables. They are actually fruits. So is zucchini, so is eggplant. So tomato, cucumbers, avocados, squash, okras, melons, chayote, or chocho as we call it in the Caribbean, eggplant, olives, mango, citrus, figs, berries, grapes, sweet peppers, and apples. And then your nuts. Almonds, again, any of your nuts and seeds should be eaten raw. They should not be roasted, baked, anything like that in its natural state. So we want almonds, we want pistachios, cashew, walnut, pecans, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seed, flax seeds, chia seeds, sesame seeds. And then all your beans and all your peas. Peanut is not a nut. It is from the bean family, and it causes a lot of problems because the mold that is growing on it, so it's best not to consume it. Some of the seasonings that you want is oregano, thyme, rosemary, parsley, celery, chives, leeks, cumin, and turmeric. And some sweeteners, which you don't want to use a lot of sweeteners. Cancer loves sugar, so you want to keep it to a minimum, but these are the ones that you can use. You can use your apples, the bananas, your dry fruits, blackstrap molasses, and honey. Things that you need to avoid. So you want to avoid refined sugar. So, some people say, oh, but fruits is sweet. It's sugar. No, we're talking refined sugar. Sugar from the fruits is natural sugar. So avoid refined sugar as it suppresses your immune system. Limit the intake of natural sweeteners. If you are diagnosed with cancer, stay away from the sweetness for that period of time. Eliminate all, and I repeat, all animal products, right? The saturated fat from the animal meat taxes the liver and leads to excess disease causing free radicals. Also, the animals have hormones. These hormones are passed on to us. And what it is doing, it is feeding your cancer cells. So you want to avoid it 100%. Take out sodium out your diet. And when I say sodium, table salt. You want to use pink Himalayan salt or Celtic sea salt, right? The excess salt may interfere with the absorption and utilization of your food and may disturb the osmotic pressure of the tissues involving almost every portion of your body. So table salt is a no-no. You want to avoid the saturated, hydrogenated, and partially hydrogenated fats. They are strongly linked to cancer, including breast cancer, prostate, and colorectal cancer. Avoid anything white flour, white sugar, white bread. Take it out your diet. Avoid processed meats, such as gluten. Take out the soy fat, and when you're shopping, shop the perimeter of the supermarket. All those things are natural versus in the aisle. Avoid the canned foods and frozen juices. Canned foods, the tin is lined with BPA, and that's a hormone disruptor. If you're going to eat anything, if it's not in its natural state, make sure it's frozen. That's the safest way. Avoid alcohol and caffeinated drinks. So, something to help you to flood your body with natural, to build up your immune system, is you can go on a juice fast, right? It will help you to flood the body with the nutrients that it needs to help you to build up your immune system. So juicing leads to better detoxification and improved health. So the increased absorption of nutrients will have two general effects on the body. Your cells will be flooded with more nutrients, and the body will be able to expel the toxins much faster. Juices help to increase your mental clarity also. It helps to strengthen your immune system because you're putting in all these phytonutrients and antioxidants into the cell. So it's actually going in, feeding the cell what it needs, and the cells start to repair itself and get rid of the toxins. And that is what you need during any sickness. You want to give your body a rest from the eating, from digesting, and you want to just flood it with juices. Your body will be resting. It's still feeding the body, the juices feeding the body, but the organs will start to repair itself. So drinking fresh juices can help with detoxifying the body. Years of eating unhealthy processed foods and ingesting harmful toxins can severely weaken your body's digestive system. We want to juice fruits and vegetables. We don't mix fruits and vegetables together. We do them separate. So here is our juice recipe that will help to alkaline your body. So anytime your body is toxic, your body is said to be acidic. You don't want your body to be acidic. You want it to be in a total alkaline, not totally. Like it should be in between alkaline and acid, right? But when it is sick, it becomes acidic. That's when inflammation happens. Anytime you have any form of pain, your body is inflamed. If your little finger is hurting you, your body is inflamed. That's all these things your body is signaling to you, hey, there's something wrong, I need to be fixed. And here's a broth that you can use to help to alkaline the body, the blood, right, and help to eliminate some toxins. So now we're going to look at natural remedies. So we talked about the detoxification is just cleansing of the cells, getting rid of the toxins out of your body. Juices help with that, exercising, you practice your deep breathing, and other herbal remedies. So some ways to detox: you can skin brush, you can drink the water, you have exercise, you want to do hydrotherapy, uses of natural products, so be careful what you're bathing with, the soap that you're using, the shampoos, all these things we're putting on our skin, the lotion, be careful of those things. De-stress is very important. Massages if you can, cleansing herbs, deep breathing, and colon cleanse. So remember I talked about constipation. We have to make sure that we're going regular, right? When we are backed up, the toxins stay in our body and it gets recirculated basically. So here is a colon cleanse that you can use. If you decide to do it, you have to drink it right away because it becomes very thick, right? And then you have to drink water throughout the day to help you to, get you going. And then some medicinal plants. The aloe vera is antiviral and it's an immune booster. You have astragalus, cat's claw, garlic, poke root, turmeric, and wheatgrass. And then we have some nutritional support. Again, the aloe vera, your garlic, your turmeric, your vitamin C, your zinc, your psyllium husk powder, and your essential fatty acids. So some herbs that we can use, and remember, these are just remedies to assist along with you making the changes, eating healthy, practicing the 8 laws of health. These are not things to help you to heal. They are just add-ons. So we have dandelion that detoxifies your liver and your kidney. We have milk thistle that rebuilds the liver, and burdock root, which actually cleans your blood. Red clover is another one that helps to clean your blood. So here's a cancer herbal formula. And when it says parts, it's just a measurement. So if you're using cups, it's 4 cups, 3 cups, 1 cup, that type of thing. And then we have something called corn silk tea. This is good for men with prostate cancer who have trouble going to the bathroom. It is a diuretic. It helps you to go to the bathroom and pee. So if you have prostate cancer and you're having trouble peeing, this is a good one for you to help you to go to the bathroom to pee. And then we have hydrotherapy, contrast showers. Now, contrast showers should be taken on a regular basis. This is not only for when you have cancer or any disease. This you should be doing every single day after you had your bath. And basically, it is 3 minutes of hot water as hot as you can take it, and then 30 seconds of ice cold water, as cold as you can take it. Cold to the point that you're actually screaming in the shower. That's how cold you want it. So you're literally hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold 3 times, and you're going to end with cold water. So this is a vigorous tonic and a physical stimulant. And basically what it is doing, the hot is dilating your blood vessels, and it is pulling the inner congestion to the surface after bringing the nutrients, also bringing nutrients and fresh blood supply. So it's going down and it's finding that stagnant area, and it is pulling it up so that it can be expelled. And now the cold now is constricting your blood vessels. So it is allowing the impurities that were pulled out from the hot water, and it is now able to circulate it through the body and get it to the cleansing organs so it can be expelled. So guys, try this. It's like it will make you, this builds up your immune system, and it also will make you feel for the next 3 hours, you'll feel like you have so much energy you can take on the world. Give it a try. So contrast showers induce sweating. It strengthens your immune system. It reduces fever. It prevents or shortens colds. So anytime you have any cold, anytime you get sick, do this. It relieves headache because it actually causes the blood to start to circulate, so it is moving that pain area. It helps with chest congestion, and it promotes relaxation. Then, for anytime you have any lumps, in the breast area or wherever, or even fibroids, we can use castor oil packs. And then castor oil what it does, it goes into the area, it penetrates into your skin, and then it's like soften the tissues. So it is starting to soften the lump in the area, right? And basically what you're doing, you're taking castor oil and black seed oil, mixing it together, and you're going to put it on a white cloth. Make sure any cloth that you're using, it is white. You don't want to take any colored cloth because of the dye. So it has to be white. And you're going to put it on the area, and wrap the area, right? And what you can use saran to wrap around the body area to hold it into place. Then we can use charcoal poultice. This is another good one. It goes in and it pulls the toxins from the area. So you can swap the castor oil and you can do the charcoal. So you can, mix and match them as you go along. And the most important one is trust in God. Do we believe that healing comes from God? So everything that I have spoken before, it's along with. So God does the healing, and we're just using those along with, right? It is not those that are healing, it's God alone. So we have to give him all the praise and all the glory. Trust in divine power, it's an immune enhancing, right? God has pledged himself to keep this living machinery in healthful action if the human agent will obey his laws and cooperate with God. What are we to do? Obey his laws and cooperate with God. In Proverbs 17, verse 22, it says, "A merry heart doeth good like medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bone." When we are happy and cheerful, endorphins are produced. That is our happy hormones. And it comes as a result of a trusting relationship with our Savior, Jesus Christ. It says in Proverbs 16 and verse 20, "Whosoever trusts in the Lord, happy is he." So you're happy if you trust God, right? And when we're happy, these hormones build up our immune system and thereby aids the body in fighting cancer. So we talked about physical toxins in the body. We also have something called spiritual toxins. So we need spiritual cleansing. And some of the spiritual toxins is we have guilt as a result of sin, so we're walking around feeling guilty. We have resentment towards one another. Sometimes we resent the person and the person doesn't even know. And it is eating you at life because you're upset at them 24/7 and they don't even know. They're just living their life. Unforgiveness. Sometimes we are sick, and no matter what medication, no matter what natural remedy, if we have an unforgiving heart, we cannot be healed. We need to forgive and let go. It might be hard. Someone might have hurt you in your past. Forgive them and move on. Forgiveness is not for them, it is for you. You have to let it go. You can't cry out to God and say, God, this person has hurt me and I cannot forgive them. Help me to forgive them. And just leave it alone. You may not have the feeling right then and there that you have forgiven them, but ask God to help you. There's nothing that we can do on this earth on our own. Nothing. Everything that we do, the breath that we take, the steps we make, it's God. Nothing, guys. We take it for granted that we can do it ourselves. We cannot. Vengeance, hatred, negative thoughts, destructive ideas. These are all spiritual toxins that is eating away at us. And we think it's okay to walk around like this. No, it's not. Let it go. Give it to God. But a broken spirit drieth the bones. When we are depressed and gloomy, other chemicals are produced which suppresses your immune system, therefore allowing cancer to thrive. Negative feelings again, you're worrying about everything, you're worrying about daily life, give it to God. Anxiety, give it to God. Guilty, fear, give it to God. These minimize the effectiveness of the immune system by draining the cells of the oxygen that it needs. Do you know that 1 minute of anger suppresses your immune system for 6 hours? 1 minute. For the next 6 hours, your immune system can't help you fight anything. So if you have cancer and you're walking around angry, you will never, ever heal. You got to let it go, guys. Let it go and let God. So we have the power of choice as we wind down. Number 1, we must acknowledge that we cannot, as I had mentioned before, do anything of ourselves. So when you're diagnosed with any illness, whether cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, you come to God and you say, Lord, I violated your laws of health. Please forgive me. Help me to move forward in the right way. We need to go to him for help because we can't do it on ourselves. He will supply the power, not us. If we try to change ourselves right now, we probably will make it through probably a week, and after that we revert to back what we were doing. God alone gives us the power. As per Matthew 28:18, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. So that means God has the power to do it. Right? We must now trust God, and he will do what he says he will do. So that is where faith comes in. Right? Half the time we say, yes, Lord, I believe, but then we take up back the problem and try to fix it ourselves. Let's go, guys. Trust the Lord. Walk in faith. Even if we can't see it, believe it that he has answered our prayer. And just keep moving forward, one day, one step at a time. As we trust him and put our faith in him and not ourselves, we must then step out in faith and not violate his laws of health. So what is God's wish for you and for me? It says in 3 John 1 verse 2, Beloved, I wish above all things thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prosper. So I thank you, and I hope you are all blessed. And anyone has any questions? Any questions? You doing questions? Okay, go ahead.
Good night. Very great presentation. I wanted to ask about hereditary cancer. Are there some cancers that will always be hereditary? Let's say there's a close relative that had a certain cancer. Could it be lifestyle choices or environmental? Or if it's in the family, you definitely have to look out for it?
Thanks. Very good question. So the question, she was saying that hereditary cancer. So yes, it might be in your genes, because remember, we have our parents' DNA and it's passed on to us. But remember, lifestyle is what pulls the trigger. So yes, your mom or your grandma or whoever might have breast cancer. We now have to say, okay, It is something that might be in my DNA. What can I do to prevent it? So their lifestyle, what they used to eat and all these things, and what we have learned tonight is like, okay, maybe there's some things that I need to change and I need to cut out of my life and start moving in the right path. And that will turn off the genes. Sorry? So if you're following the 8 laws of health, you're practicing proper hygiene, you're eating the right foods, you're balancing your hormones, because any reproductive, for female, any reproductive issues, it's the hormone. So you need to keep your hormones balanced. That's a different story.
Hi, thank you so much for the presentation as well. That was actually my question about the hormonal imbalance in women. So what are some signs and symptoms of hormonal imbalance, and what are some natural alternatives to fix hormonal imbalance?
Okay, so everybody is different, so I won't give any answer to that question. I'll just make it generic, because our bodies react different to certain things. So in order to, we'd have to do an assessment on you. We'd have to speak to you one-on-one, because your friend might be doing something and you're doing something different, and you guys might have the same problems. So we need to get to find out what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're practicing, and then from there we can work on trying to see the solutions. But I won't give any solutions, because it's not like a one shoe fit all. It's just right. It's different, yeah.
Yes, thank you for this presentation. It was very informative. I have a question on all the remedies you stated here. 2 questions. I think the remedies you mentioned for someone who already has cancer, can you implement those to prevent cancer?
Yes, you can.
And concerning New Start, I think what the T is temperance. All the remedies you mentioned say to boost up your immune system and all the other things. Can I implement all of that in my life right away? Or do I have to
You
take
can. Those are all good things. You're not overdoing it. Your lifestyle should be, you should be getting your fresh air, you should be getting your exercise, you should be eating healthy. So if it's something that you're not doing right now, and you can do it the very next day, there's nothing wrong with that. But someone might be having a hard time changing, say, eating meat, for instance. So what I'd suggest for them is once a week, eat vegetarian for that day, eat vegan for that day, right? And then the second week, try it for 2 days. So you're slowly introducing it into your diet. So stuff like that might be hard to change, but exercise, you can get up and walk. You can practice your deep breathing exercise, right? So.
I was more talking about the foods, the garlic and the...
Oh, yeah. You can start it.
All of what you mentioned there.
Everything.
Right away.
That's all natural. There's no harm to that, right? So there's no harm in eating natural foods. What you don't want to do is overeat, right? Everything in moderation. So you're going to incorporate everything, but you're not going to sit at the table and gouge everything in at once. Yeah.
Well, I also have a question. Thank you very much for this very nice presentation. Now, my question is with regard to food, because when it comes to other aspects of the lifestyle, such as exercise, this you can do as an individual and decide to do it. Now, food is mostly prepared in family. And we prepare it for everybody. Mm-hmm. And it looks like there is a problem with that as well, because some people may be eating on the same table, but this one is gaining weight, the other one is fine.
So you're saying so you're having the same meal, but someone is reacting different.
Yes.
Yeah, what is the other person doing? You guys aren't doing everything the same. So it's not food alone that is a driving force, right? Remember, there's other things. So that person could be, so say someone is sick in your family. It could be stress that you're not aware of. It could be environmental factors that you're not aware of. It could be hormone stuff. So you can't, we are not all the same. We are made uniquely different. So we can't say we're doing the same thing and we're getting different, we're supposed to get the same results. You can't.
Yeah.
So you have to find out again, remember, go back to what the cause is. So why is that person putting on weight? What is it that they're doing? Are they eating past 6 o'clock? Are they going to their bed 2 hours after their tummy is filled? We have to go back and see what is causing these things. There is something, but we have to figure out what it is.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe you've answered the question, because I was going to ask, should food in family be tailored towards each individual? Which is kind of difficult because we always eat on the table together, the same meal, most of the time at the same time.
How late? So you have to also take that into consideration, right?
Yeah.
So breakfast is supposed to be your biggest meal. Your lunch is supposed to be your second. And your dinner is supposed to be like a pauper, like your minimal. And why this is so, and I know it's hard, is because you want to go to bed on an empty stomach because your body heals at that time. If you go to bed, say you eat at 6 o'clock and you go to bed at 9, your tummy still have food in there. And your body's still trying to digest it while you're trying to sleep. So therefore, you're not getting the rest because your body's still working. So you not getting the rest is causing problems in your system, and then it comes out as a disease. So we have to be mindful of everything. You know, we have to look at the overall person, what they're doing, and you have to make lifestyle changes, right? And if you're serious about your health, because I know sometimes people will say, oh, but do you want to live on medication for the rest of your life? So it's a personal choice. You have to decide what it is important to you, and I'm talking to everyone. That's excellent. That's the ideal. 2 meals a day is perfect, but some people can't, right? And if they can't, then the third meal should be the lightest meal before they go to bed.
Okay.
Thank you for the presentation. I want to ask about the food in relation to children. Are they affected by eating at night and all of that? Because your kid might get up and wants to eat and cry. They eat anytime within time. Are we supposed to also make sure they wake up at dawn and all of that? I want to eat, you stop them. Are they affected by some of these things that probably we the adults may face? Yeah.
So the rule of thumb is we're supposed to eat every 5 hours. And that goes for the little ones, not babies, but once they're of age. So you give your kids, if you eat a healthy breakfast, I know it's like the school system is different, right? But if you just remember, when you're eating, say you eat at 6 o'clock, and whatever you put in your stomach at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then at 8 o'clock you're eating again, whatever is in your stomach at 6 o'clock hasn't digested yet, right? So therefore, that food is still there. Then at 8 o'clock you eat something. Then at 10 o'clock you eat something. So your food is never digesting. It's called fermentation. Builds up bad blood. Then we get sick. So we have to think about it. Remember, everything is a cellular level, you know. If our cells is full of toxins, disease will come upon us, right? We have to go back and think. We want an easy life. We want a stress-free life. But at what expense? At the expense of getting sick, right? It might not be affecting your children right now, but eventually, as they grow older, they're going to have digestive problems. They're going to end up with eczema, all these things because of gut health. So we have to be mindful. And it's how we train our children. If you train your child to say certain things they're not supposed to eat, at certain times they can't eat, they won't be snacking 24/7. But because we have a system where snacks is always available to children, they can just go to the cupboard and help themselves, or, you know, when they go to school, they get the snacks, or it's a vicious cycle. But we as parents have to try and do our best and help our children because it affects their behavior also. So sometimes we think innocently that, oh, it's just chips, and the chemicals that are in these food is messing their brain. Then they act behavioral issue, and you're like, why are you such a rude child? It's not that. It's what you're giving them to eat, right? So we have to be mindful. Food in its natural state as much as possible. It's a sacrifice that we have to do. It's hard, I ain't gonna lie, but if we want the best for our kids, and again, put it before God and say, Lord, I am struggling with XYZ, and believe and trust that He will solve the problem for you.
I thought the rule was you can eat as long as it's 2 hours before bed. But from what I'm hearing from you, it's like 2 hours is not enough time for the food to digest. So how many hours before bed can I
The
eat?
food takes 4 hours to digest.
Oh, 4
And then the
hours.
5th hour is resting.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's why we're spaced out
hard.
our food 5 hours apart. And we don't eat and drink, right? 20 minutes before you eat to half an hour is when you drink. We do not eat and drink, right?
Sometimes you don't sleep if you don't eat. You don't fall asleep if you don't eat. Yeah.
Say it.
And also remember that different food takes a different time to digest.
That's why you don't mix fruits and vegetables, because fruits digest much faster than vegetables.
Okay.
20 to 30 minutes is ideal. 2 hours after. 2 hours?
I thought it was 1 hour.
No,
after
2 hours.
You eat.
No, 2 hours.
So when you have your 2 meals, you could eat it anytime, like the big one first or the small one
No,
first?
no, no. Breakfast is still the biggest meal of the day.
So what if you don't have breakfast?
No, you have to
Say-
break the fast.
Say if your meal starts, like your first meal starts at 12 o'clock, like lunchtime.
Okay, so that's
And you don't
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's too late.
Okay.
Yeah, because remember, if you're going to eat at 5 o'clock, then you go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You pass your bedtime and there's food still in your stomach.
So your bedtime is supposed to be 10 o'clock, right?
No, 9:30 the latest.
So who come up with that?
Ask Sister White. I can't answer that question. Remember that when you go to bed, any hour before midnight, you get 2 hours worth of sleep, right? And you want that sleep to double up so that during that time, your body is actually healing.
What's
8 hours.
What's about eating cheese?
That's an animal product. We don't eat animals.
Okay, that was here. We come to it.
Sorry, just one more question. So I need 8 hours of sleep, right?
Yeah.
So if I go to bed, let's say 10 to 12, I already have 8 hours. No, but every hour is 2 hours before midnight. Yeah, sorry, 4 hours. So, okay, I decide to go to bed at 10 to 12 is 2 hours of sleep, but technically it's 4 hours of rest.
4 hours of rest.
But I only need 8 hours of rest.
No, sleep.
Of sleep. So what if, like, for example, my wife worked at 11 a.m. in the morning. What if she say, oh, you know what, I can go to bed at 2 a.m. and still get my 8 hours of sleep?
No. So your body's not healing. Your body has passed the stage of healing,
Oh.
right? It's important when you're sleeping is you're healing. Yeah. What a question.
Thank you. This is about insomnia. For those who work night shifts, and like he said, you're missing the 10 to 12 hours, and then you end up with insomnia. It's not cancer related, it could be, but what would you recommend? Melatonin doesn't work.
That's a personal thing. Yeah, that's personal. In essence, we need to sleep. Our body's made to go to bed. So we work off a circadian rhythm, right? So as soon as it starts to get dark, our body starts to wind down. That is how we're made. I know people who work night shift, but it's eventually, it's going to catch up. I know it's hard to admit it, but right now, you might feel that, hey, nothing is wrong, but as you get older, you are going to feel it. Yeah, so that's a personal choice, yeah. That's hard. We'll talk after. I can make it. I can make it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Now, maybe my last question is about supplements. There are so many supplements on the market that that are sold with the motivation that there are not enough nutrients in the food that we eat as we have it now. What can we say about those supplements?
So first of all, those companies are going to tell you that because they want you to buy their product. Number two, supplements are made with fillers. Fillers are poison. So if you notice that when you take supplements and you pee, your pee is extremely yellow, those are toxins that your body cannot digest. It doesn't know what to do with it, so it has to get rid of it. So that should be a red flag to know. We use it in case you're like deficient, you use it to bring you back up. But that should not be your lifestyle choice, right? Food should be what we use. Try to get it organic, as I had mentioned before, right? Summer is coming. We have local farmers. Support your local farmers and get those food in. And then, or even grow your own stuff. And then what you can do, freeze them. And then you'll have supply until next year again. Canning is excellent to get into. Yeah.
So I'm just going to contribute to what Tana just says, my wife. So canning is excellent. It helps to preserve the food and it maintains a lot of the nutrients. When I say canning, it's just you're pressure treating those jars to keep the content. So that's why they just call it canning. So canning is excellent. You can also, the vegetables, you can also shrink wrap them and put them in the fridge so they don't get freezer burn. It's like sucking the air out of it, and it will carry you through the winter, per se. So, and if you can just put a garden just from here to here, just imagine how much you can get. And take, for example, like kale and so forth, it will come back. Kale, if you plant a bit of kale, it will last up until about November. It can withstand the cold. And if you cover it, it will go even into December. So God have shown us a lot of things to get the food from its natural sort. And if you go to buy seeds, you just buy what you call heirloom seeds. Heirloom seeds are in its natural form. So if you buy the heirloom, you just plant it, you're good to go. So these are just some things you can do on your own to also get the proper nutrient from the food. And if you notice when you grow your own and you taste that tomato or strawberry, it is sweeter than what you get in the store. Because when you pick it and it goes to the store, it is not picked when the plant has given all the nutrient to the fruit. It hasn't received all the nutrients, so you have to pick it a bit green in order to put it in the store. But when you have it now, it gets all the nutrients for you to get from the fruit into your body.
Amen. All right. Just before we close off, here's a resource if in case anyone is interested. It teaches you about the different types of cancer and how to cure it. All right, can we stand for prayer? Dear kind and loving Heavenly Father, we just want to give you all the praise and all the glory. We thank you for the message that was presented, dear Lord. And we hope it was a blessing. And wherever we have fallen short, we ask you for forgiveness. And we ask you to put us on the right path in following your laws of health so we can actually heal our bodies and help us to be a living testimonies to those around us. As it is now the Sabbath, dear Lord, we ask you to be with us and help us to have a blessing throughout this day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.